Hello, this is the first in a series of videos that I'm recording demonstrating how to run different statistical analyses, analyze data using Python and the various software packages, libraries that are available in the Python ecosystem. So I'm going to, I've notionally called this series kind of common analyses, and I'm going to focus on the types of analysis people are probably most familiar with, those kind of classical statistical and quantitative methods that you first learn when you do statistics at undergraduate or postgraduate level. So these would be the things that we refer to as kind of like the frequentist approaches, parametric statistical tests, and I've kind of chosen to focus there to start with, just because often that's what people are familiar with. If they've done it before, maybe they can run those analyses using some other type of software. I wanted to give them the confidence to maybe try using Python and see the benefits that there is to using an open source software library which has a lot of flexibility. Okay, so this is just an introductory video, and I'm just going to show kind of the setup that I'm using. So when I do kind of any coding or functions or anything like that, in Python I usually use a text editor of some sort, like Visual Studio Code, and then I will also have Windows PowerShell open, and I will kind of execute the Python scripts that I put together in Visual Studio Code. I'll execute them using the command line in PowerShell. But when I'm doing kind of data science analysis and statistical stuff, I use Jupyter notebooks, and they serve quite a useful open science function in that you can record the different steps of your analysis, and you can also put text in there to explain what you've done, and they're also really nice to work with. So the setup I use, and I think it's one of the most commonly used ones for this type of work, is I use what's known as the Anaconda distribution. If I show you the Anaconda, this is the Anaconda website, so it's free to download. You can download and install the Anaconda distribution on your computer. I'm not going to do it because I've got it already got it installed. And the distribution contains various software platforms all in one place, and you can create different environments and things to work in. So I'll kind of just show you quickly. This is Anaconda Navigator that I've got open, and you can see if I scroll through, you can see there are a number of different development environments: Jupyter Lab, Jupyter Notebook. You can even work with like a PowerShell type of prompt command line, and various integrated development environments you could use, and software. It is language agnostic, so you can even use RStudio and run R from Anaconda Navigator. But as I said previously, I'm going to use Jupyter Notebook. I'll come to that in a second, but it's also worth looking at. You can create different environments for. It's kind of worthwhile when you're working with Python with different packages. You can create different environments. You can create them in Navigator. You can create them in Anaconda using the command line PowerShell prompt. But it allows you to install different packages and have different versions of Python that you might need for different projects you're working on. So I have this environment that we're in at the moment. I use it for kind of general data science tasks, and you can, if I move that, you can see that there are a number of packages installed in this environment. If I switch to another environment, so I've got another environment here, PyMC environment, which I use if I'm interested in, or if I'm trying to do some sort of Bayesian type of analysis. So if I just put that on briefly, you'll be able to see I've got a number of different packages installed in there for the types of things that I'll need. So 134 packages are in that environment. But for now I'm going to change back to my data science, kind of my general kind of environment that I like to work in. Go back to the home page. All right, and then what I said before was that I like working in Jupyter Notebook. So if I launch Jupyter Notebook, from Navigator. It will kind of open in a new browser window. And you can see the different files you've got on your computer. So I'm going to go into Python Analyses. So I've got a number of notebooks saved in here. So Jupyter notebooks used to be called IPython notebooks. If I open a new one, give you an idea what it looks like. So you get cells in which you can record markdown, which would be text, or code, and you can run them. You can run them using keyboard shortcuts, and you can rename it. So if I just give this example notebook, we'll call it, rename it, and I'm going to change this first cell to markdown, and put this will be the title there. Example. Keep getting warnings from my computer about memory space. Example notebook. So I can execute that. You see you can put some new cells below. So an example notebook, you put as much text as you want there, explaining the analyses you were going to do, and then you could put code into these cells. So let's just do some quick bit of maths. Y equals 5. I'll run that cell. X equals 25. I'll run that cell, and then we could do X times Y just to. And you can see there it gives us it. If there's some output to display, it will give us the answer. So all I've done there is just a little bit of maths. I can show. I open one of my other notebooks I've been working with. You can see here I've kind of used that. Basically this was I was investigating the relationship between a couple of variables. I wanted to transform them first of all, and I was able to kind of put some text explaining what I was doing, and then import various software libraries, then import the data that I was going to use, and then do the various transformations and things that I was interested in to explore the data. So this video was just to demonstrate the kind of setup that I'm using. I think Jupyter notebooks are excellent. We can, in the next video, what we'll do is I'll go on and we'll start with a little bit of descriptive statistics. I'll import some software libraries and then run some descriptive statistics after importing the data set. And then we'll kind of move on from there and look at how you tidy up and clean data before running different sort of inferential statistical tests that we might be interested in conducting. But that's the purpose of this video, was just kind of show you this setup and show you how useful it is. The good thing about these kind of Jupyter notebooks as well is, like I said, you can annotate and record all the steps for your analysis, and then you can export these things as PDFs or share the notebooks so other people can replicate what you've done. Okay, so what I will do is stop recording for now, and in the next video I'll start looking at the different type of statistical tests that we can do. We'll start by running some descriptive statistics using Python.